When people get married and they say, I do, every single person says I do with the intention that it's going to be for life. And no one ever expects to go through a divorce and to have different things happen in your life where you end up alone. So my question to you today is this. How can single parents date and find fulfillment and find a mate or just find completion in their life where they are today?
You know, God is going to use this season of your life to mold you, to shape you, to refine you more into the image of His Son Jesus, to deepen your trust in Him, whether that means being single and staying single, whether that means somebody comes into your life and now how do I date and how do I move forward with wisdom, whatever that scenario is, deepen your trust in the Lord.
Before we can even really talk about dating as single parents, we got to discuss the motive.
There's a parental motive, parental heart. That's the part of you that looks at your child and says, I want more for them. So maybe a dad or a mom, whatever the case may be in their life. Then there's the marital heart, that part of you that feels that aloneness and wants that to be fulfilled. And then there's that other motive you talked about. And you're living life, you're walking it out, and you recognize, hey, somebody might come into my life. They'd have to be really good for me to be willing to take that risk and to go down a new road. I really think that's the place we want single parents to be, is in that place of contentment and just walking with God.
Is there ever a right time to date as a single parent and a wrong time to date as a single parent? Let's talk about that.
I think the wrong time to date is when you need to date. When you are hungry, walking in looking for food, right? You are susceptible to whatever comes along your way. You're not very discerning at that point in time. Quickly after an end of a relationship, death, divorce, whatever it might be, quick turnarounds are dangerous. Okay,
You're talking about the rebound.
The rebound.
Yeah.
And if you find yourself dating somebody who's in a quick turnaround, you need to back up and give them the grace of being able to heal and spend some time dealing with that loss. Single parenting is different than being a single, never married who is dating, simply because the stakes are higher.
Let's talk about trust. I may love again, but I'm never going to trust again.
Yeah, never again.
Never again. What do you say to that person?
And what I say to them is, okay, that's understandable. You've been through some significant pain in your life. You got some wounds on your heart. And the closer you draw into a new relationship, the more you'll recognize trust issues. You'll find yourself kind of going, oh, I'm holding back. I'm guarded. I'm cautious. The research that David Olson and I did together, we found that the fear of another breakup, the fear that this relationship too will not last, was one of the most highly predictive things in whether new relationships were successful or horrible. So take that to God, take that to wise counselors, have people help you with that, recognize what that hurt is in you that the fear stems from, deal with it. And until you deal with it, don't move into a new relationship. But here's the thing I want to say to single parents. Kids who grow up in single-parent homes do just as well on a lot of measures of academic performance, emotional stability, et cetera, as children who grow up in step-family homes.
When do you introduce the child to that person? Does it start at the beginning? Do you wait until you really like them and you're digging them? When do you introduce them?
When you get past the pleasantries of those initial first few dates, and you begin to decide this is somebody I think I want to pursue and spend more time with, then it's probably a good idea to introduce them to your kids. Just let them get to know each other a little bit. Don't expose them to your children a tremendous amount unless you really feel like there's some potential in the relationship. So it really is based upon your assessment of how your relationship is growing.
What if the kids are like, I hate him, I hate her?
Yeah. Don't panic that you can't date. They're probably going to be feeling some measure of fear. Because if you spend time with him, then you're not here with us. If you spend time with him, then you and Dad can't get back together again. Who knows what that fear is for that child? Because as soon as they feel like they've lost you to this other love interest, then all of a sudden they're never going to approve of him, never going to accept him, and now you got another problem. So chase the fear and see what's behind it, and then engage in a conversation. People ask me, well, should your kids determine whether you continue dating somebody or whether you get married? And the answer is no. You're the adult, you're the parent, you get to make that decision, but it's very unwise to ignore what you're hearing from them. What if conversations is a great way to engage your kids before, during, and throughout the dating process? What if I started to date? Then once you begin dating, you say, so what if I were to date this person for an extended period of time? We just kind of dated each other and nobody else. How would you feel about that? What if he started hanging around a little bit more? What if she brought her kids over and we spent some time this weekend at the park? How would you feel about those? Every time you ask that, you're gaining feedback information that helps you make decisions about the pace of your relationship.
In the dating process, I would think the spirit of discernment and just praying constantly and just being like, Lord, show me stuff that, you see that I don't see. So what are some of the tools that we have as Christians can we use for the dating process as single parents?
First of all, because you love your kids and you want them to love the Lord, don't you dare date somebody who doesn't love the Lord with their whole heart.
Come on, brother. Point number one.
Number two, early on in your dating relationship, start doing things that are going to connect you spiritually, connect your heart and your values with one another. Start praying together. Pray about whether you should date some more. Pray about life. Pray about job. Pray about your kids. And let me tell you something. You will see more deeply into the heart of another person, who they really are, when you listen to them talk to God. You will learn more about what makes them tick, what their concerns are, their fears, their worries. You will understand their soul so much better when you're listening to that other person pray. Attending Bible study and fellowship and worship together, it's about finding out if your values are a fit. It's also about learning their heart. Because if you can't connect there, nothing else really matters. And so I want single parents to know that dating and dating well is very important, not only for you, but especially for your kids. I think you just simply pray the dater's prayer every day.
Which is?
God, I'm yours. Lead me in your will, according to your kingdom. And if you bring somebody in my life who can help me walk according to your will help me love you more, and we can share a life together, then don't let me miss that, God. Let me see that person. And if you don't bring somebody into my life, let me trust your provision for me. Now that's just a place of openness, and you trust God to fill it and to direct. And I believe that's what he's really after.